There's tons of creative ways that you can help your students to develop their hand-eye coordination, reaction time, and gross motor skills for throwing and catching. Here's a few ideas using minimal equipment to incorporate into your PE lessons in stations, circuits, relay races, and more.
I've got a large gym ball and I've also got a small tennis ball. I'm going to be practicing just throwing the tennis ball off the gym ball and catching it again, not letting this ball hit the ground. So staying low, using one hand to throw and catch, just catching and throwing that ball. You can alternate hands, practice using both your left and your right hand to throw and catch. You can start to go a little further away, make it a little more challenging. Just don't let that ball hit the ground. You can then even practice underarm. You can practice two hands or one hand. You're just reacting. This is really good for your reaction. And you're catching. For knee taps, you need to watch carefully. I'm going to throw the beanbag up in the air with my left hand. I'm going to tap my right knee with my left hand and then catch it with my left hand. You then switch hands. What we're just trying to do is throw the beanbag up, tap your knee and catch it with the same hand. So here we go. And then switch. If you get confused, it doesn't matter which knee you tap. Just practice tapping a knee and catching it with the same hand. I've got two bounce balls here, one in each hand. We're just going to start by bouncing them both at the same time and catching them at the same time. So you just keep your knees bent, stay low, just working on that coordination. Okay, so you might find that a little bit easy after a couple of practices. So to make it harder now, we're going to switch hands. So we're going to bounce the balls to the opposite side. So we're going to cross them over. So now you're throwing from left to right, right to left, switching each time. It's really good for your coordination and your reaction. With a basketball and a tennis ball, a really cool challenge we're going to try. I'm going to hold that tennis ball above the basketball. I'm going to let go of them both at the same time. The tennis ball is going to pop off and I'm going to try and catch it with one hand. So here we go. Okay, so try and catch that ball before it bounces on the ground. You've got to react to it and catch it. If you don't hold the tennis ball above the ball but off to the side, it's going to bounce off to the side. Okay, so you got to keep it directly above, let go, and catch that ball. It's a really good fun one. You can see I'm standing low, I'm ready to move and react to catch it. Nice and easily with one hand. If you let go from higher, it's going to bounce higher. If you let go from lower, it's going to bounce lower. I've got my back to the wall, and with a large rubber ball, I'm just going to practice throwing and catching it behind me, over my head, bouncing it off the wall. So you can practice first with two hands. This is just a really good practice for a bit of coordination and reaction
from over your head. And then you can practice with just one hand at a time. So throwing with your left, catching with your left, and then switch to your right. And then you can alternate, throw with your left, catch with your right.
I've got a taller cone just in front of me. You're going to bounce the ball with one hand, touch the cone with the same hand, catch the ball with the same hand. Bounce it nice and high. And then you can switch hands. Make sure you practice both your left and your right. Always moving underneath the ball, having your hand ready for that ball to land in your hand. Once you've done that, you can then progress it, make it a little more challenging. This time, you're gonna bounce the ball, pick up the cone with the same hand, and catch the ball in the cone. Okay, so here we go. Bounce, pick up and catch. You can see I'm always bending my legs. I'm always staying low so I can quickly move. Practice both your left and your right hand. I've put a hoop down about 3 or 4 meters away from the wall. I'm standing behind the hoop and I'm going to try and overarm throw the ball for it to bounce off the wall straight into the hoop and then catch it again. Okay, so here we go. Standing behind the hoop, try and get it to land inside that hoop. Throwing a little bit hard there, so I've got to go softer. Practice both your left and your right hands. Pointing to the target, trying to get it to land in the hoop.
So these are only 7 out of 28 creative throwing and catching activities, and they're part of my new elementary throwing and catching task cards pack that I've put together. In the complete resource, you're going to get access to printable task cards for each of the activities, as well as exclusive video demonstrations like the ones in this video, where I explain each activity and demonstrate it with the correct technique. It's an awesome reference tool to work through with your class any time of the year to develop their fundamental gross motor abilities. And this is going to aid in their baseball, basketball, American football skills, and much more. So check out the complete resource in the link below.